I am an almighty Glintstone sorcerer, and I will destroy. Oh God!
Elden Ring in a nutshell.
Hello, my fellow Glintstone sorcerers, my fellow magic users, my fellow knowers, that the best way to experience every Souls game, Elden Ring included, is, of course, magically. Today, then, I'm going to be guiding you through how to get the two legendary status sorceries, Comet Azur. Actually, this is the first time I said it out loud. Is it Azur? It's not got the E, so I assumed Azur, but it might be Azur. Either way, and Stars of Ruin. They are both ridiculously, both gorgeous looking and powerful. Comet Azur, for example, can essentially one-shot bosses under the right circumstances, and it's a little bit silly. I'll also be showing you how to get a lot of other spells too along the way during this journey, because this journey is a quest line, a NPC story, as you help out your lovely, noble sorcery instructor, Senna. So without further ado then, let's massively upgrade our sorcery prowess. So, Azur's body is in Mount Gelmir, and it's quite the trek to get to it. If we start then from the grace that essentially is the first grace you will get in the Altus Plateau, it is essentially just a straight line run, but it's very winding and wending up the mountain. You want to burst forward past the Ancient Dragon who will land, via left, either ignore or kill the Tibia Mariner boss, continue along the explosion gas vent corridor of Doom, there's a golden seed on the way, and again, there is lots of stuff to explore and get here that's really kind of neat, but if you're just gunning it for this particular spell, this is what you need to be doing. Keep just following it round and upwards, past packs of enemies, fighting, past another boss in the Magma Lake, past a fortress. Eventually, you will reach a village that you must essentially just ride through before getting to a final boss that is indeed guarding Azur's body. Either ignore it, run past, and go talk to said body, at which point, after a deep, meaningful, and long conversation, you will be handed Azur's Comet, and this spell starts everything. Oh, and it should be noted at this point, you do also have to have killed Ranella, Queen of the Full Moon, so the second Great Rune, which I imagine you have if you're here on this video for Legendary Sorceries, and you also need to have handed Sellen the 3 sorcery scrolls, the Academy Scroll, the Conspector Scroll, and the Royal House Scroll. They are in the graveyard left of the start of the lakes, the Magic Academy on the way to Queen of the Moon, and finally on a little ruin in Limgrave, respectively. Now, obviously, if you just want this spell, you're already kind of done, but once you have Comet Azur, you can go speak to Senna. It just occurs I've been calling her Senna this entire, video when her actual name is Sellen. I apologize for that. Just please imagine Sellen every time I incorrectly say Senna going forward. Tell her about it, and this will begin her storyline. She wants you to go check on Lusat, another primeval sorcerer, and the source of the other legendary spell, Stars of Ruin. In order to do so, she gives you a key. So, of course, the question is, where do we use that key? Well, the answer is in Caelid, the blood-rot hell to the east, and the village of sorcery. You can just run there without too much trouble, ignoring everything on your way past. Once you are there, you will notice that there is quite a few magical barriers erected around the town. In order to get by these, what we need to be doing is some horse parkour. You can jump up onto the roofs, run around the various bell towers, and at each bell tower top there is a way to disable a barrier. Each barrier you disable gives you access to a chest of goodies, and once you've disabled them all, you can actually progress with the storyline proper. The most important item to make sure you get from these barriers dropping is our first new spell that isn't the legendary sorcerer's, Night Comet, an incredibly fast, powerful, and chargeable bolt of energy that is quite an efficient sorcery to be using. Then you want to make sure you do the optional boss located in the village. It's a double double fight of what is essentially just normal enemies later on in the game, not too challenging to get by. Once defeated, they give you access to a further chamber with a chest, and in the chest is Lusat's Glintstone staff. This is the best Glintstone staff in the game. It's not the most efficient, it's not one you want to be using until you are incredibly high leveled, but technically speaking, in terms of raw damage output, it's the best, because quite simply, it boosts the damage of all your spells at the cost of them costing more mana. It's, again, really not worth using until you have absolutely tons of FP, but it is good to have grabbed this for when you reach, I don't know, like level 150 plus, and you can support it. In any case, with that collected, we can continue on with the storyline. Heading northeast out of the village, up the stairs, and through where there was a barrier as you ride up a slope and get to a graveyard. Continue on past it further up the slope, and you will find yourself face to face with a single enemy in front of a single grave. Defeat him, ignore him, doesn't really matter, and then go slap the wall behind the grave because the cliff is actually illusionary. How anyone would find this accidentally, I don't know, but hey, thankfully I'm here to tell you that it's there. This is the Cellia hideaway, and it's in here where all the good stuff happens. Explore it forthwith, and eventually you want to head in a downwards direction. If you're progressing lower and lower into the cave, then you're very much likely progressing in the right way. Eventually then, you will find another magical barrier protected by a random mook sorcerer that you will kill quite effortlessly, and then this barrier is what the key Senna gave you is for. Disable it, and lo and behold, we have found Mr. Lusat, who with his last few breaths of life will give you the Stars of Ruin legendary sorcery. This thing is just great. It fires a blitz of beautiful little darts of energy that all home and decimate whatever you have targeted. It's not got the most damage to mana efficiency, but it is incredibly boomy if you can find a good moment to get it off, and it's a good one to have in your arsenal. If you want to finish the actual end of this cave that isn't Lusat, there is of course a boss, as you might expect there is in every little side cave, and this boss is a triple corrupted crystal fight, and it is brutal.
Help me.
However, if you eventually manage to complete it, your reward will be a new crystal sorcery, Crystal Torrent, which again is actually quite good. It's a hold and charge, and for as long as you have the FP to use, it will minigun out little shards that do quite the hefty damage. There are better spells, certainly, but it is a good one to add to your arsenal. In any case, back to Senna as we tell her the fate of Master Lusat. And now she will ask you a favor, the favor being to go rescue her real body. This, then, is fairly simple to do. Her real body is located in the south of Limgrave, on the little south island, in the Poison Ruin area, just below the Church of Marika. Once there, head down, talk to her, and she will give you her literal soul for you to do with what you like. Do note, this room, as you may have already picked up by now, has a ambush shard in it, which is another sorcery. This summons a little magical bolt behind the enemy you have targeted, which will then immediately strike them. This is great for chipping past shields, because you can't block behind you, and is a fairly good damage to FP spam ratio, and a very useful sorcery to have. And what you like to do with this is, well, get Senna a brand new body. This body then is located in the Three Sisters area. Once you unlock that, past the Royal Manor, and you want to be going to the ruins, kind of in the middle by the dragon. Try to not to aggro the dragon, and then you smack the floor, reveal some steps that were hidden by said illusory floor, head down into this secret puppet studio, and then at the back there is another illusionary wall which you can then progress through, and stood there will be a lifeless Senna lookalike, placed her soul into it. I do apologize that I'm not actually showing you footage of it happening and just me kind of stood there. The footage of me doing it for the first time kind of corrupted just a tiny bit, but the same principle applies. She will wake up, be like, ha, wonderful, and head off to enact her master plans. if we then go back to locked up Senna's original body in the ruins south of the Church of America, south of Limgrave, you will find her dead, along with another NPC to now talk to. You might well recognize him as the announcer from the Festival of War and the whole Radahn boss fight shenanigans. Though I have to admit, I don't know if Radahn's death is a requirement for this. I did it afterwards, but if this guy isn't here to continue the questline, then I would suggest go beat Radahn. In any case, give a chat to him, and now we are ready for the final chapter of the story. We want to go to the Royal Academy of Raya Lucia and head to the final boss room, which means, yes, you have to have completed that in order to finish this. Head outside the boss room, but don't go down the elevator, and there will be 2 summon signs on the floor. Those signs are to make a choice. You can either help the announcer dude kill Senna, or you can help Senna defend herself from the announcer dude. I don't want to go too into details as to why they want to kill each other. I'll let you enjoy that as you progress the storyline, but each way offers different rewards. I'm here to tell you how to get maximum spells, so we're going to side with Senna. This also results in an extra armor set and an extra weapon, and between you and me just is the superior bundle of rewards, so I really wouldn't worry about the choice either way. In any case, it's not the hardest fight in the world. You and her go toe-to-toe with him, burst him down. He's very, very squishy and easy to poise break, and once you do, again, armor set is yours. You can then talk to Senna, have a lovely little conversation, and she will give you a magical scaling dagger, which is kind of a dagger, really. But the main point of this is that once you refresh the room, she will become a new sorcery seller shop in the room as a kind of ball bundle of faces. Let's just say her plans didn't work out great, and she will now sell a new spell, the Glintstone Spiral, which again is actually quite a useful spell. Very slow moving, but pierces through enemies, doing a good amount of damage, and very, very cheap. So another useful trick to have in your arsenal. And with that, this questline is complete. A brand new bundle of sorceries, a incredible Glintstone staff for late game, the legendary spells themselves, and you've helped out your good old friend Senna, the Glintstone teacher. So, all in all, a good day's work, I would say. Hopefully you have found this useful, and if you haven't, well, maybe you'll find this useful. Once you have finished this whole thing, well, Senna collects the bodies of both Azur and Lusat. So hey, maybe something cool happens if you go, I don't know, revisit the bodies of each. I really like this robe. In any case, well, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Please keep an eye on what we do in the channel for more awesome Elden Ring tips and tricks, and perhaps consider keeping us going in general on Patreon linked down below. Until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.